Hi, welcome to Are We the Only Ones? I'm Kathy, and today I want to talk about Christmas. Now, the holidays are just around the corner, and actually, they're upon us. And it's that time of year where you have to decide how many presents are you going to buy your loved ones. So, what we have done in our house is I've basically told my kids that I have a email conference call conversation, open line of communication with Santa Claus, and that we discuss. Santa will tell me if he thinks that I'm thinking of spoiling them too much, that I should cut back. And I let my kids know this. And I let them know where they need to improve or where their teachers have told me that they need to improve. And that Santa has given me advice on basically how much the budget should be or how many toys or what kind of toys. We do not have Elf on the Shelf in this house because my youngest thinks Elf on the Shelf is creepy. So that saves me a little bit of work, right? But the other problem is that you have to figure out if my kids happen to be very tech involved. The great thing about tech is that it's not a lot of clutter. If you have an iPad, if you have video games and games that are downloaded, you don't have toys strewn around your house, right? But for Christmas time, you want under the tree to look abundant. So in the past, we have not actually put Christmas presents under the tree. They just magically appear on Christmas morning every year. Whether we're in a hotel, whether we're at home, no matter where we are, Christmas presents and a Christmas tree magically appear from Santa on the 25th of December, no matter what. But this year is probably going to be different because my kids don't really want that much stuff. So it's great because I don't have the pressure of trying to figure out how to make that happen. But now there's a different type of, not pressure, but a different type of scenario, which is how do we make an abundant Christmas under the tree if there's not a lot of requests for gifts? So, generally, every year, we try to. It's a combination, I think. So when I was growing up, my parents didn't have time to buy us Christmas gifts. So what they would do is they would give us the money to buy the Christmas gifts, and then we would wrap the presents and put it under the tree. And then the surprise was actually for my parents of what they got us and why we got those things, and we had to explain why we wanted these things. And actually, it wasn't the worst way of doing it because everybody got what they wanted. There was a surprise that was involved. Somebody was surprised, and you don't end up with a lot of returns that way. However, for me now, as a parent, trying to make Christmas miracles happen, I'm sort of doing that with our kids where I'm saying, okay, what we can do when you guys shop for us, maybe. We're trying to figure out a way for them to surprise us, but then they kind of need to know what we want, right? So we're trying to figure out a method to this. I don't know if you guys have any suggestions on how to work it out. One of the things I was considering was basically taking my kids shopping without my husband. Then they get the stuff for my husband, and then vice versa. The problem is our kids don't feel like going shopping. So then we end up trying to figure it out. So in the next few days, I'm going to be going to the stores. I happen to be near a really cool mall that is urban planned in a way that it feels like I'm actually like in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, even though I'm in California. And it's really nice to feel like I'm in a normal sort of like urban setting, but it's really actually a mall that's outdoor, but it's not outdoor mall the way that like a normal Southern California mall would be. I think like Fashion Island or I'm trying to think like some NorCal, like Stanford University Mall. Those are definitely malls. This particular mall that I now live near is not an obvious mall. It is clearly like a shopping like place, plaza, but it's bigger than a plaza. It is a large. There is a large footprint of stores, but it's done in a way that feels like you're just walking through a neighborhood as opposed to feeling like you're definitely in a mall. So I love that about this particular mall setup that I have near my house. And then we also have a outlet also near us. So we can, if we want an indoor mall that is very much like your typical mall, we have that option too. So it's great. It's great to have all these options. It's great to feel that connection when you go shopping. Because, when you do online shopping is very convenient, right? But what happens is you lose the connection with people. You lose the connection of tactile touching fabric, knowing how the quality is. As a fashion designer, I had to learn a lot about fabric, weight, um, and you just don't get that when you're ordering online. Sometimes it's kind of a gamble when you buy things online that when they arrive, they might not be as good as you thought. The quality might not be that great. I tend to find when I buy really cool shirts that are maybe independently made, and people use a Cricut, the that sticky, I don't want to say laminate, but whatever that is used. Sometimes it sticks together. Like all of a sudden I'll get the shirts and like stuck together, and I have to pull the thing apart. That's not ideal, especially if you're charging me $50 a shirt or $35 a shirt. That's a lot. Like a normal screen printed shirt would not have that problem, and it would not be that much. So, but it's a quantity thing, right? So now I appreciate going shopping in stores now because I know the quality is going to be good. The quality in a store has been vetted, right? So now I get to reconnect with shopping because for a long time as a fashion designer, I got kind of tired of shopping because I knew how to make all the clothes. I knew how they were made in a factory. And so I didn't really need to go to the experience of going to a store. But now that it's been so long and I've been doing so much online shopping and having like kind of like some good things, some bad things, I like going to stores now. And it's also nice to connect with people and to have that experience. And so I realized I need to do that for my kids. I need to like make them go out there, experience shopping. I mean, maybe it's because they're boys and they're not girls. Maybe if they were girls, I'd have more shopping opportunities. But there's something about the experience of giving gifts, the experience of shopping for a gift, the time that you take to think about the person you're shopping for, the ability to find, execute, and give and deliver a gift that a person appreciates, and then feeling that feeling between you and them and how you brought them joy. Everybody should learn how to do that. It's a good human experience. So for this time of year, I find it's easy, right? Because it's Christmas. Sometimes we do it on like a Disney cruise. They have this thing called fish exchanger exchanges where people get in groups on the Facebook pages and they organize. It's like a Secret Santa, but it's cruise ship stuff, Disney stuff. But I would do those even though it was a lot because we have to bring an extra suitcase for all this stuff. If you have like 10 families, we're like, you're going to give to 9 families. And then you're receiving from 9 families. So you have to have luggage to take all that stuff back and forth. But what's cool about it is that you have an other opportunity that you're giving your children on how to give gifts and receive gifts, not because of Christmas and not because of their birthday. So there's something that is giving a person a human experience to understand empathy, generosity, kindness. Hopefully, you can also teach your children how to give gifts without expectation, right? So if you're a generous person, you give without an expectation of receiving. If you have a friendship in which you start to exchange and receive, that's great, but not like where you don't want to be the kind of person, you don't want to teach that kind of behavior where people think that if they give you something that you have to owe them in return. Like that's not quite the same. Now, if you say like, okay, there's a courtesy, right? But there's also it's the way the generosity should be given, right? It should be given freely. It should be given, and also like if you give, um, you stay in this place where you're kind, not like you start lording it over other people. So that's another thing about like gift giving season. Like you want to express love, care for other people in a way that is truly, sincerely out of the kindness of your heart and the joy of giving. That's what the gift giving season is about. Now I understand maybe Thanksgiving, the gratefulness, what are you grateful for, is supposed to lead into the gift giving season so that when you get gifts, you are grateful for them. Maybe if we're intentionally thinking about that more, that might be something that is good for all of us to remind ourselves about. But it is something that I'm interested in hearing about from where you guys are. If you have children, if you have friends that you have to give gifts to, family members, how do you go about it? Do you listen? Do you request lists? Do you drop hints? Do they drop hints? How does it work now for most of you in giving gifts? Or do you just figure it out? In Asian culture, it's really easy. You just give money in a red envelope. Because in Asian culture, we just believe it's too much trouble to have to return items. You would just give people money and then they can do whatever they want with it. It's easier that way. Western culture feels like it's kind of cold, or you're not really thinking about the person if you just give cash. So it's interesting culturally, the differences in gift giving and things like that, and how it's received, how it's, how, it's a thought that counts, but, you know, how do you actually do all of this? Are you the kind of gift giver that really takes the time to think? Are you someone that just goes, oh, hey, last minute you go get something? Or do you put like extreme amounts of time into the thought process? Or do you basically get gift cards? Or are you like hanging out with a person and then you treat them? And that's how you do it. Sometimes I'll do that. Sometimes I'll be out with a person. I know that they like something and then I go, oh, you want that? Let me get that for you. And that way, at least I know that they want that. And they're not like, oh, thanks. Because it is hard when you get a gift you really don't want, or a gift that you feel like might be insulting, to take it gracefully, right? So it's always one of those types of things. And I've also had experiences where people purposely give you gifts that are mean. And I always find like that's more telling about the person that's giving the gift. I know they're meaning to hurt the person, but really it's about the person giving the gift that's being a jerk. So don't be one of those gift givers. If you're the kind of gift giver that likes to make people feel sad or like to hurt their feelings, it's it's not a good look. It's not a good look. Everybody can see what you're doing. You think you're getting away with it. Everybody can see it's not cool. In this season, I would like to challenge everyone to give from a place of trying to figure out something like that means something to them. Pick one person in your circle that you're going to actually like really try to think really hard of something that they would really, really like, and see if you can accomplish that and see how it makes you feel. And let me know how it goes. If you guys have any other tips on telling me how I can sort of make things magical, because I'm really good at paying for a party, but I'm not really good at like creating these moments. We thought about a gingerbread house, but my husband's like, they're not gonna really commit to doing it. So I'm trying to think, can I do like construction paper crafts on that day? Do I make like there was this like Trader Joe's cake that I saw somebody turn into Christmas trees? Do I do that? I need to get more into the crafting part of being a mom and teaching the kids things like that. So if you guys have any tips or pointers on that, send them to me. Screenshots, photos, anything, tips, whatever. That'd be great. All right. Let me know how your Christmas shopping is going, how your gift giving is going. And if there's any cool gifts that you see out there, I will say this. I did notice I went to Macy's and there are some great sales in Macy's Home. Love these glasses and like dishes. I just realized I might need to get some things for like an afternoon tea set situation. Because I I love the idea of entertaining, but the actual work of putting all the food and catering out on my own is extremely daunting. And it just doesn't come naturally to me. So if you guys have any tips, I would love to hear them. We could share them and maybe make it one of the best Christmases, but I'm not trying to be tired, okay? I'm looking for tips that are kind of like easy, but give you a big value, big bang, big experience. Not something that's like Martha Stewart love. I'm not trying to do that. I want it like break it down to be something easy. I feel like teachers would be good at this. Like what do I do? Like pretzel sticks, stick marshmallows in them, make some kind of a reindeer. I don't know. I'm just trying to think like what are the things that people do? I guess there's like holiday snack treat mixes. I don't know. I'm not really a good gingerbread baker. Although if you have a good gingerbread recipe, please send it to me because I would love to try. But yeah, all the things I remember one of my mom's clients used to give all of us tins of gingerbread, and they were all like thin and yummy. They're like those Tate's cookies, but they were gingerbread. Oh my God. What I wouldn't give to be able to do that. So if you have anything that you can share with me, to impart with me, to make my Christmas for my kids more Christmassy, I guess. This you see behind me, this is the extent, this decor. This is the vibe that I am able to bring. I need more kid-friendly vibes, more snack-friendly vibes. Help me out. I appreciate it. Until next time.